Hi everyone, welcome to the lecture. In our previous lessons, we discussed the plot of the play I Will Marry When I Want, and in another lesson, we analyzed the characters in the play. We discussed the role of each character and characterization in the play. And in another lesson again, we discussed the themes in the play. And the recent one, the last lesson, we discussed the symbols and image in the play. We discussed symbolism and imagery in I Will Marry When I Want. Today's lecture, we are going to be looking at the literary devices used in the play I Will Marry When I Want by Ngugi Thiongo and Ngugi Mirii. There are several literary devices used in the play, and we'll be looking at them one after another. One of the literary devices used in the play is tone and mood. You will agree with me that almost every play have a tone or tones and then have mood. In this play, I Will Marry When I Want, we have various tones. That is, it is not only one tone that we can find in the play. The reason is because of the feeling and the opinion of each character in the play and the differences between the characters. For instance, we see that Gikamba is used to be indignant, sometimes getting angry with the political elite, with people like Ahab Koi Kanoru, and some of the political elites who were exploiting the poor. And as a result of that, his tone always is either moral or indignant. And also, we see another character there, Kigunda, who is also or having a similar tone to that of Gikamba, yet he is passionate about doing it, passionate about protecting his land. And then we see the tone of passion and then of anger as well, because when the issue of the land happened, that the land was taken away from him after he was unable to pay his loan, he resorted to anger and depression, and even he gave to drunkenness. And also we have another character there who have a specific or unique tone in the play, which is Wangeshi. Wangeshi, we can say, is bitter. Is have a tone of bitterness in the play. Why? Because most of the things that surround Wangeshi are things that stimulate bitterness. One of it is the loss of the land by Wangeshi and Gikunda together. They want to have acre of land which Gikunda have, and another one was the pregnancy of Gatoni, the daughter of Wangeshi and Kikunda. Wangeshi, it was a shame to Wangeshi that her daughter got pregnant out of wedlock. And when Gikunda and Wangeshi went to the house of Ahab Kanori to talk with him about the possibility of Wangeshi and John Muhumi, his son, to get married, he only insulted Wangeshi and Gekunda and called Gatoni war for allowing his son to have sexual affair with her. And it was a lot of bitterness for Wangeshi because her daughter was impregnated out of wedlock, and at the same time, after the loss of the farm, after the loss of the 1.5 acres of land, the husband Gikunda resort to assault, resort to beating her. So it was a form of bitterness. So we have the tone of bitterness, the tone of anger, indignation, and passion in the play, and the mood is frustration and tension. There was a lot of tension in the play, because tension between the poor and the rich, this class tension, class stratification in the play. And also Gikunda was totally frustrated, even though he did everything out of good will and good intention, but it led to a lot of frustration. He did the marriage in order to be accepted. He did the marriage so that John and Gatoni will be able to get married. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way. So it was a time of bitterness and overall the mood of tension and frustration. Then another literary device we found in the play is simile. Simile is a figure of speech used to compare two different things that have similar properties or characteristics. Then we see that one of the characters who uses simile most is Gikamba. He used simile almost in most of his speech. One of it in page 42 was poverty is like poison in a body. Can poverty be a poison in a body? Now he compared the poverty that he experienced and the one that others in the community like Gikunda, Wangeshi, and even Ujoki and several other people were experiencing. He considered it as poison, because just as poison can even kill person, the poverty's nature or the poor nature of their poverty can even lead to their death, because they work a lot in the factory and in the farm, but they were paid low wages. And as a result of poverty, they were not able to build a factory or have a farm like Ahab and some of the post-colonial, neo-colonial Western people who were building factory in the post-colonial Kenyan society. Then Wangeshi also, we saw that Wangeshi in page 96 also used a simile when he said that the wedding cake is as white as snow, and then he also said it's as white as wedding dress. So comparing the wedding cake and the wedding dress and the snow is also another use of a simile in the play. And also in page 33, Gikunda, the husband of Wangeshi, also uses a simile where he said, we the workers are like that monkey, pointing to one of the monkeys in the farm where he was working. Note that he is a laborer in the farm of Ahab Koiki Kanoru. So he pointed to a monkey and said, they that are working in the farm are like that of the monkey. So why comparing himself to monkey? Because he also suffered the fate of monkey. Because they were regarded like less human, just as many people regard monkey as a less human being or not even a human being at all. So Ahab and some of the political elites also regarded the poor as lesser being, not even human being at all. So another one in the play is metaphor. Metaphor is comparing two unrelated things, unrelated ideas or things. So one of the characters who uses metaphor also is Gikamba in page 33. In page 33, he says the owners of these companies are real scorpions. Are they real scorpions? No. But he compared them for the sake of emphasis. He compared their nature or their behavior to that of scorpion, which sting people. When scorpion stings somebody, it may even lead to a lot of sickness or even death. So the owners also, the treatment they meted out to the workers can also be compared to that of stinging of scorpion. So in this metaphor, Gikamba show how the owners of the company saving for their interest and not to help the poor, and they are not even helping the workers who are even working for them to make the money. And also in page 61, Gikamba also made use of metaphor again when he said religion is the alcohol of the soul, and he also said religion is the poison of the mind. Is religion the poison of the mind? That is, it cages the people from protesting or engaging in revolution. And also, why did Kikunda spend a lot of money, even get a loan from the bank that he was not able to pay? It's as a result of an attempt to accept the Christian faith. And so Ahab, Jezebel, and some of the Christian leaders encouraged Kikunda to do Christian marriage. They consider his marriage with Wangeshi, the traditional marriage, as illegal, as even a form of cohabiting that is a sin. So religion is the alcohol of the soul, because just as people take alcohol to forget about their frustration, religion can also help somebody to keep the faith or keep the hope and suffering instead of protesting or making attempt to right the wrong. Now, personification is also common in the play. We see that personification is giving human attribute to something or thing. Now, we see that in page 23, Gikunda also used personification when he said that silenced the entire forest, making even the tree to listen. The question is, can tree listen? Absolutely not, because listening is an attribute of human being. So trees do not have the capacity or the attribute to listen. So, but the stillness of the trees, the harsher atmosphere in the forest, he compared it to that of listening. Where maybe the trees are not moving, the leaves are not even shaking, and the tree stand or everything quiet. There is no any noise or wave because of maybe the tree, because of the number of the tree. That is, he referred to it as listening to what they were discussing and the pain that he was expressing. Even the tree were listening, according to him. So it was an attribute of human being given to tree. And then also in page 106, Ngugi also uses personification when he tells Gikamba that Kikunda had become married to Chibuku Likwo. Can somebody marry to a Likwo? Probably maybe in the modern world it may happen, but in the context of this play, getting married to Chibuku Likwo simply means that he cannot live without Chibuku Likwo. So after he sold the land, after the land was taken away from him because of the loan that he was unable to pay, then he has nothing again. The little money that remained with him, he just used it to drink and forget about his sorrow. So, and one of his favorite alcoholic drink is Chibuku Likwo. So he spent all the money, all the time drinking Chibuku Likwo. And the wife, Ngugi, say he has married to Chibuku Likwo. That is, he does not even give attention to Ngugi as wife again. Rather, all his attention focuses on drinking Chibuku Likwo. So the attention that he should give to his wife, he has given it to liquor, to alcohol. So now he's married to alcohol instead of his wife. Now another one is euphemism. Euphemism is common in the play. Euphemism is the cleverly use of word to reduce harshness or severity. Then we see in page 20 and page 21 where Kikunda uses euphemism. He said, Gatoni, being a child, does she realize that man have prickly needles? This one, he was talking about his daughter Gatoni when the daughter was going out with John Muhumi, the son of Ahab Koik Wano Kanori, and also the son of Jezebel. So the father Gikunda was wondering that, does he know that men have prickly needles for going out, walking around, even going to Mombasa to spend 1 week with John without the intention of the parent? Does he know that what is prickly needles? Well, prickly needle is the male genital organ. So he doesn't want to mention it, and then he uses the word prickly needles. So for you, if you don't even know, probably you don't know that it can be called a prickly needle before. Today you have known. You can also use it. Instead of saying, okay, this instead of mentioning, you can even say, okay, the genital organ of man can also be compared to prickly needles. So that was how Kikunda mentioned it. Instead of talking about the private part of a man, he says prickly needle. So, and I believe Gatoni was aware because later the prickly needle impregnated her. Now let's go to another one. Another literary device in the play is proverb. Proverb are used to impart knowledge, offer advice, teach or reinforce morals or warning. So several characters use proverb in the play. One of it is Gikunda. Gikunda says, a man brag about his own penis, however tiny. Note that in the euphemism, he did not mention penis. But now we saw it now that in page 4 he mentioned it. Say a man brag about his own penis, however tiny. So this means that a person should be proud of his own property, no matter how small it is. And then he had 1.5 acres of land. He was so proud of it, and that was why the title deed of the acres of land, he hung it on the wall, so that anybody who comes to his house will say, okay, this is property that belongs to Kikunda. And also in page 12, we saw that Gikamba also uses proverb when he say, many hands make work high. This proverb call for unity. Hence, people should unite to fight against exploitation, oppression by people like Ahab Kanori and the political elite in the post-colonial Kenyan society. So Another one in page 13 was Wangeshi. He uses proverb when he say, when he was talking to Kikunda, an aging hero has no admirer. An aging hero has no admirer. Probably somebody who is a man or a woman who was young, now is old, and all the admirers have disappeared or have not having interest again. What does this mean? According to the context of the play, it means that those who fought for the independence, who engaged in the Mau Mau struggle for independence in the colonial Kenyan society, were no longer appreciated or even welcomed by the political class. Now, at the time when the fight for independence was at its climax, the people, the politicals, the political class or the politicians, they were hailing the Mau Mau struggle fighters, freedom fighters, because they were the one fighting the white people to leave Kenya, to hand over power, to hand over government to people of Kenya and go. And they were present there. That is, they were admirers of the freedom fighters there. But now that independence has been gotten and everything stolen by the political class, nobody is admiring an aging hero. That is, all those Mau Mau fighters who were heroes for being able to get independence for Kenya now are no longer wanted by the political class, and they are being treated like slave or lesser being. Then another one is mimicry. Now, no, this is a skill of someone being able to copy the voice or movement of other. In this play, we see this as a way of expressing negative attitude towards something or the way of showing objection. Who use mimicry? Kikunda. He shows his anger by mimicking the group of singers in page 10. When those singers were singing, the devil must be crushed. Hey, crush him, for darkness is falling. Hey, let it fall. So, as they were singing, out of anger and frustration, because he was also a hero that has no admirers again. And then he also mimicked them, expressing his frustration on how he fought for the independence, but he was now not even appreciated by the political elite. Now we have another one, which is satire. This is it is humorous way of criticizing or ridiculing people or idea. So we see that some of the characters were ridiculed with intent to teach moral lesson to the society. For instance, we see it in page 4, where the drunkard sing that he will marry when he wants, when all fathers are alive. And note that even people were not considering the drunkard to be an important person. But now he also, just like as Gatoni, the daughter of Kikunda, was talking about when he will marry when he wants, when she wants. Now the drunkard also now he's saying he will marry when he wants, and this make a lot of people to laugh. And here the playwright, that is the two playwrights we have, Ngugi Mirii and Ngugi Thiongo, want to show the weakness of the poor people, that despite of being poor, they drink too much instead of working hard. And that was why they were enslaved and exploited. Because instead of working hard, they were drinking. The little wage they paid them from working in the factories and in the farm, they used all to drink. And that was the challenge they were facing. And the drunken man was funny as he blames Kikunda for not wanting to go with him to drink. Also, at the end, we see Kikunda has indulged into the drinking business after selling his properties that he bought from the loan he took from the bank. Instead of paying back the loan, this led to auctioning of his piece of land, and that was the beginning of his downfall and even frustration. Because after taking the loan, they spent part of the loan to do the wedding, the Christian wedding between him and Wangeshi. And after that, instead of investing the rest of the money, he used them to buy properties. As in, just like people will equip their house with appliances, maybe electronic appliances, or new chairs as newly wedded people. Now, Kikunda and Wangeshi also engage in such. They spend the rest of the money to make life look more beautiful for them. Unfortunately, life became more miserable when the land was taken away from them. And also, we have another one, which is Climax. No, it is the highest point of tension in the play. And to me, I consider the time when Kikunda draw out sword to fight Ahab, Koi, and then the wife of Ahab, Jezebel, shot him. That was the climax of the play. And what led to that? It was the pregnancy of Gatoni. When John, the son of Ahab, Koi, impregnated the daughter of Kikunda, Gatoni. And then the Ahab ruled out the possibility of his son getting married to Gatoni because they are not of the same class. And that was what infuriated Kikunda to fight and draw a sword. Unfortunately, he was shot because gun and the sword cannot be compared. That shows the weakness of the poor as well. The poor uses sword, the rich uses gun to kill them. But thank God, he survived. Kikunda survived the gunshot. And another one is foreshadowing. Do we have foreshadowing in the play? Yes. Because at the beginning of the play, the title deed that was hung on the wall of Kikunda's house fell down. That foreshadows that Kikunda is going to lose the land before the end of the play. The falling down of the title deed symbolizes or foreshadows the taking away of the land from the owner Kikunda. That was what happened at the end. Now, another one is narrative point of view. In this play, we have, I can say, the third person narrative point of view because it's the narrator can interpret the mind of some of the characters, can interpret their thoughts, and even discusses their experiences, which the character did not voice out. So it was a mini or limited omniscient third person point of view. Okay? So because it did not express the mind of all the characters, so it was only a few of them, and then we regard that as limited third person point of view. And who is the protagonist in the play? And who is the antagonist? Well, the protagonist is Kikunda. Kikunda, the whole story revolves around him and his family. It revolves around him in the area of somebody working and trying to become a Christian to be accepted. Unfortunately for him, he lost his most cherished land. And as a result of even an attempt to make his daughter Gatoni get married to the son of a Christian leader, then the daughter also getting impregnated by John, and then there was no marriage. At the end, the daughter Gatoni became a barmaid instead of a wife of a prince, a wife of or a daughter-in-law to a political ally like Ahab Koik. Then the antagonist is the Ahab. We saw the fight between Ahab and Kikunda. When Kikunda draw a sword, Ahab family through Jezebel shot him, draw out gun. And at the same time, both of them are in different social status. While Kikunda is in the lower status, poor man, Ahab is a political elite, a rich man who manage a company for a white man, and at the same time have his own farm where Kikunda work. And it was in the company that people like Gikamba were working. Then another one is the language. The play was written in Gikuyu, a language in Kenya, and later translated to English. And in case you need more detail in the area of language, when it was published in Ukuli and when it was translated and who translated it to English, you can contact me through the comment section. We maybe explain it to you or send you more detail on that. So this is the end of our lesson today, and we hope to have a very interesting lesson again with you probably in another play or in another poem, in another novel, or even in English language. Okay, thank you. The lecture has come to an end today. We meet in our next lecture. Thank you.